A Vincentian police officer faces disciplinary action. And in sports, Curtly Ambrose has some concerns about West Indies cricket. This is Caribbean in 10 for Wednesday, August 16. I'll be back with the details after the break.
Assembly, August 21st through 24th at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel in Nassau, the Bahamas, under the theme Digital Developments in Caribbean Media. Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Dr. the Honorable Hubert Alexander Minnis, will welcome delegates during the opening ceremony. Guyana's Minister of Public Telecommunications, the Honorable Kathy Hughes, will offer a keynote address on digital developments in the region. See the launch of the UNESCO-sponsored Manual of Social Media Guidelines for Caribbean Journalists, with guest speaker Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn. And hear from international media players about the new developments in digital television standards in Europe, the US, and Japan. And this year's Caribbean Broadcasting Awards Gala at the Atlantis Resort Paradise Island is not to be missed. Call 246-430-1007 to book your space in the 3-day conference and exhibition. Don't miss the CBU 48th Assembly at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel in Nassau from August 21st through 24th. Discounts on flights to the Assembly on the official airline, Caribbean Airlines.
The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force has brought 5 disciplinary charges against the head of the Police Welfare Association over remarks he allegedly made on social media last month about plans to storm the office of the Prime Minister. Sergeant Brenton Smith's comment in a July 13th WhatsApp conversation among PWA executive members was made as a suggestion to get issues affecting police officers addressed. Smith allegedly said, quote, "One of the things I was thinking today that must be so angry that we must storm the Prime Minister's office. All executive members, no authority. We ain't taking or asking anybody to go. We are going over there," end quote. He is charged with conducting himself in a manner unbecoming of the office of Sergeant of Police by making that statement, as well as engaging in mutinous behavior when he stated that if the incident hits the news, it must do so hard. Another charge is that he breached a routine force order that speaks to all police officers behaving in a lawful and appropriate manner consistent with the Police Act and Regulation Force Orders and Policies and the Cybercrime Act. The PWA attorney Israel Bruce, who will be representing Smith during the proceedings, said he anticipates that charges will be laid against another officer today. Over in Jamaica now, where the Police Federation is considering legal action over new provisions in the Constabulary Force Act. But before it goes that route, it's intensifying efforts to meet with the National Security Minister on the issue to get some of the provisions rolled back. We get more from TVJ's Vashan Brown.
Federation Chairman Sergeant Raymond Wilson confirms that the matter is now a top priority for the group, and he's anticipating a meeting soon as a first step to reverse some of the changes. Among other things, the amended provisions include a $250,000 fine for failing to give 6 months' notice for resignations. Sergeant Wilson states that a review is being conducted of other pieces of legislation which were changed based on the provisions of the Zones of Special Operations Act. He wants the matter dealt with at the level of the minister rather than in court.
We're hoping that good sense will prevail. We have sought a meeting with the minister. We wrote a letter to him over the weekend asking for an urgent meeting for us to have dialogue about this matter. We'll hope that we are able to meet with the minister sooner than later. Certainly it would be good to have a meeting with the minister before meeting with the members.
Meanwhile, Sergeant Wilson says before legal action is taken, the procedure to be followed will be dependent on the meeting with the minister and the response of the Federation members.
Over to Trinidad and Tobago now, where the government there has registered concern with the British government over a recent travel advisory indicating that terrorists are likely to try to carry out attacks in the Twin Island Republic. In the advisory issued last Friday, Britain's Foreign and Commonwealth Office said there was general threat from terrorism in Trinidad and Tobago and that terrorist attacks could be indiscriminate and take place in areas visited by foreigners. It also noted that although there have been no recent attacks in Trinidad and Tobago, more than 100 nationals have traveled to Syria and Iraq to fight along with ISIS and are likely to pose a security threat on return. But the Keith Rowley administration took issue with that, and as we hear in this CNews report, the Ministry of National Security has sought to bring clarity to the situation.
In a statement, the ministry said the government has held talks with the British High Commission in Trinidad and Tobago and was informed that there was no recent update to the advisory and that the language on terrorism was included in May 2017. Noting government's concern at the specific language used in the advisory, the ministry confirmed that there was no intelligence which provoked the use of this language. However, the ministry said the government continues to work closely with international allies, including the British, with respect to counter-terrorism and the sharing of intelligence, all aimed at ensuring that our citizens and persons in Trinidad and Tobago are safe.
Stay with us, your Midday Sport is next.
Sporting success on the world stage isn't new to Tobago. From former national football captain Dwight York to powerful Paralympian Akeem Stewart, the island continues to produce top talent. And Tobago is building on Akeem's achievements by providing additional support for disabled athletes. The Department of Sport recently hosted a 4-day disability workshop for coaches. They learned about concepts in Paralympic sport, structural differences,
Legendary former seamer Sir Curtly Ambrose is holding out little hope for embattled West Indies in the 3-test series against England starting tomorrow. Sir Curtly, who until last year served as the Caribbean side's bowling coach, said West Indies were coming up against a very confident England side and would struggle to even win a test. Speaking on the Turfers and Vaughan cricket show ahead of the start of the day-night test in Edgbaston, the Antiguan said he is very concerned. He said England are favourites since they have just beaten South Africa 3-1, and South Africa are a better team than the West Indies at the moment, and the English side's confidence at the moment is sky high. History is also against West Indies, having not won a test in England in 17 years and a series in almost 3 decades. In fact, the Caribbean side is without a test series victory since beating Minnows Bangladesh 3 years ago in the Caribbean. Still in cricket now, batsman Emmanuel Stewart returned from West Indies under-19 duty to immediately stamp his authority as he steered Windward Islands to a convincing 7-wicket victory over Jamaica in the opening round of the regional under-19 one-day championship in Basseterre yesterday. The 17-year-old Grenadian, who toured South Africa and Zimbabwe recently with the Young Windies, struck an unbeaten 76 as the Windwards overhauled their target of 141 to win easily at Connery. Free scoring Kamani Melius perished cheaply for 9 at 19 for 1 in the 7th, but Stewart stepped up to anchor a trio of partnerships to see his side home. That's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.